Hello there, good folks. Watching the daily vlog. Welcome to day 38, and we have some talking to do because the time right now is 11:15-ish. So last night I couldn't go to bed. It was just one of those nights where I was twisting and turning in bed. All of a sudden, it was 3 a.m. And if there's one thing that puts me to bed, that is a solid filling meal. Now, of course, when you're under eating as well, you might sometimes have problems in sleeping. You might struggle with actually shutting your eyes and going partially unconscious to that state where you're just gradually getting into sleep. Like you never cross that bridge. And in our case, of course, we're not under eating. You've been seeing the vlog. But in my personal history, sleep has been something I've constantly struggled with, especially because I have a lot of screen time. As a coach, I'm looking at emails. As a content creator, I'm looking at the screen editing. So all of this can kind of add up. Blue light, not necessarily the best, but of course, we try to regulate it to the best of our efforts while being productive with our work. Anyway, the problem is I couldn't crash. So usually what helps me is a solid carb-loaded meal with some extra protein on the side if I can for some extra satiation. I had 4 dosas, 2 whole eggs, leftover chicken curry, leftover coconut chutney, 2 large servings of ice creams and a handful of almonds. Now, this is a lot. When I list it down like this, you sense it. But what happens is a lot of people who have general midnight cravings, they don't realize that. See, a solid midnight craving plunge can easily derail you from that optimal rate of progress you've been enjoying all this while. Like you could undo a week of progress with just one terribly bad day, depending on where you are on your journey. Of course, it's specific to each individual, but you get the idea. This meal easily packed in from 1300 all the way up to 1700 or 1750 calories, which is like, that's like 2 solid meals. Ideally, I try to plan my meals around, the 700 calorie to 1200 calorie, that range. Anything below that, well, if it's low carb, yeah, the meal might be like, 500, 550, around that ballpark though. So what one needs to do is when you go on a transformation like this, look for contingency. Yeah, look for moments where you might need to apply that contingency, because each transformation could have a certain obstacle that is unique to it and that individual. And for me, our rate of progress long term will still stay unaffected. Now, our weight this morning should have seen a spike. Why did it not? Because the time is 11:15. So that carb load actually worked. And I woke up at 10:30, 11-ish. I even missed the call from the treadmill guy in the morning. He was supposed to come and lubricate the machine and check for, just any maintenance errors in the motor or whatever. So the late weigh-in obviously meant, the body had time to kind of, get it out of the stomach, digest it. And, there's more depletion, obviously, as the time passes. And we have a regular 225-ish weight. This is why whenever we look at a transformation of some individual and we try to replicate it, if we are lucky, it could work for us. But there could be certain elements we might have just missed out, which otherwise should have been diligently looked at, that could have helped you maintain your transformation, get the same level of progress, but something that is optimized for you. In my personal experience, in most cases, midnight cravings seem to be one of the primary factors, especially for people who work long hours. When they finish that work, they won't have that reward system. They want to just plunge into some wonderful food, but they try to restrict and then go to bed and then wake up middle of the night. They're extremely hungry because you didn't plan ahead. And we had a wonderful midnight craving dump. And now we're back at it. And we got a call coming up, got some emails to wrap up and some editing to do and some training to smash. It's a little past afternoon and we got some editing done, calls done, emails for the day, nothing left anymore, solid productivity. Let's go eat, get that reward going. All right, I do have some unsavory news. The neck once again is acting up and now it's stretching all the way down. Almost feels like an erector spinal inflammation deep down. But yeah, I kind of feel like, there should be some fix to make sure I don't roll over in bed, man. It's just that, like I told you in the morning, I couldn't really sleep. So obviously my most comfortable position to sleep is, hugging the pillow upside down. So yeah, my neck was obviously like that with the pillow like that. So when you're struggling to sleep, you're not really focusing on posture and all of that. You just want to doze off. So now I got to pay. Yeah, this is going to be, I don't know, it's probably going to take a few more days, but one at a time, yeah? One issue at a time. For now, let's get that meal down. That's going to take a while. We should probably scramble it since we're doing just around 2 meals. There's a lot more proteins per meal. So crank up the heat a bit. I'm going to quickly go get some veggies. Family's there, so wait here. I'll be back. So we got some soy chunks right there. Some carrots and beans, very small portion because I think they've made less for the entire house. We should probably buy a bit more tomorrow. And some spinach. For carbs, primary, we got, okay, that was supposed to not become this overcooked. Basically lentils and rice, but Nothing close to a sambar rice, no condiment, just basic lentil and rice, parboiled, or I think it was pressure cooked, I don't know. I hope that is mine because someone else shouldn't have. I'm trying to wrap the filming for this meal and show you guys so I can go spend some family time. So I'm going to do that. Oh, it's been so long since I had soy chunks, man. That is so good. That was such a filling meal. I also threw in some extra veg biryani and of course some more soy chunks into the mix. So feeling extremely heavy. I'd love to take a nap right now, but we got work to do, so we do that. Okay, so we have some change of plans. Now, I know how the training volume is set up, okay? I've been constantly looking at it. That doesn't seem to be the problem. I've looked at the training intensity, the load, that once again is extremely low, just like the volume, In fact, I still have room to push both the volume and the load up for the upcoming weeks. And I had that in mind, obviously when the mesocycle wraps, you got to change the stimulus a bit. Now, of course, it's not too low to the point where you can't stimulate hypertrophy, but to the point where you can do it, but in a very safe zone, yeah? The sleep seems to be the problem both quality and quantity wise. I think it's just been gradually adding up. Of course, the sleeping posture along with the quality and quantity, So I think that needs to be something I really need to fix. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, so the neck inflammation that just came back after taking a break for 2 days, took a 2-day vacay to Hawaii and then it just jumped back onto the coast. What I'm going to do today is probably, we still had leg day planned, but I'm probably going to just try to bundle up those extra 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever that I spend along. Of course, training doesn't take 3 hours, but training and then come in and then cook and all of that, I'm going to bundle it up, probably have just a fruit bowl. And we ran out of proteins, man. There's no eggs in the house and there's no chicken breast and it's a Saturday evening. Not even evening, it's, okay. I had to put up a clock in the studio. I don't have my phone with me. It's probably around 8:39-ish right now, which means it kind of works in our favor since we are not going to be training. A low protein post-workout meal is it's going to be fine. In the big picture, of course, we will have to hit our targets, but we'll make do for that in the coming days. I'm going to focus on recovery today, and days like these are always unexpected, but it's annoying, but it's fine because we still have 2 days of recovery for every single week. But I like to split them and take them. So now since we're taking the second day of recovery today, second day of off, which means we'll have to train 4 days consecutively. Now, I don't know if you're seasoned enough to actually feel that, but if you can train 4 days consecutively and feel your recovery is not even slightly in the non-optimal end of things and feel okay, you are not training hard enough. It's fine. It's not a problem, okay? It's fine if you can even train 5 days on a stretch, but you need to train to the point where you kind of feel you want to squeeze in that, one of the off days, like after day 2 or day 3, just so you kind of, reset things and get back and pump up really well when you hit the gym once again after the recovery. But yeah, that's a gamble we have to make this time. I really have to focus on these smaller recovery issues because this is something I'm constantly telling people. I always, everyone's in the beast mode culture right now. And I'm someone who constantly advises for proper optimal recovery and rest windows in between high intensity, balls to walls training. Time to practice what I preach. Well, I have been practicing. The problem is that I've not maintained the quality and the quantity in a point where it's required for the amount of load of work I have right now. Like I'm working more than what I anticipated. So all that is just adding up. And of course, personal responsibility, stress, everything adds up. Anyway, that is a wrap for vlog number, whatever today is. I have no idea. Wait. I'm not going to blank this. Vlog 38. Got it. So that's a wrap for vlog 38, and I will catch you tomorrow. And don't think we're undereating today, okay? What, you're just doing a fruit bowl and just some lentil rice, veggies, soy chunks, and some veg biryani? Don't forget that the amount of veg biryani that can pack up calories is very less for a large amount of relative calories. So it all adds up. I never undereat. I wish I could undereat. There was a time when I was constantly undereating when I, used to be morbidly obese as a teen, but yeah, those days are far behind me. Cool. Let's see what tomorrow awaits in terms of a neck inflammation. Hopefully, it should settle. Unfortunately, it might not, but that's an answer we'll get only tomorrow, and I'll see you exactly then. Nalik Pakla.